Oh, did I start the video already? Okay, so welcome to the video. This video is specifically focused on M1 MacBook Air review from the perspective of students. So if you are a student, then you must watch this before you make a choice whether you are going to buy the M1 MacBook Air or not. So just to give you a context, this is my first entry into this MacBook ecosystem. So that's why I had a lot of issues, like when you have the closing of the tab or the minimizing the tab in Windows, which I was using frequently. It's on the right, here it's on the left, and the keyboard there are slight differences depending on the width and everything. So that took like a week to get used to it, but I really love the typing in this keyboard. Is really nice, the typing and the experience that you get. And once you get used to it, which will take like a day or two, then you will see that the speed with which you type is also really good. So talking about the speed, so the performance is really good. You can see the Geekbench scores, and surprisingly the scores were really more than what the average score was shared on the internet. Maybe it varies from machine to machine, I don't have that much idea. This is the first time that I was doing a Geekbench score, so yeah, I was really happy. The best thing is that it's very portable. So I have already been using it for like 4 months from December. I have not used it that heavily because I also have a Windows system, which I showed you a long time back. So most of my work is done on that, but sometimes while writing papers and doing some short programming, which I'll tell you further in the video, I use the MacBook Air, and I find it very easy because you can take it virtually anywhere. Like you can go out if it is a sunny weather and sit outside and type, and do it on your bed, couch, any place. So it's very convenient, very portable, and the battery is also really good. For me, if I watch like light videos, hear some music, have Bluetooth Wi-Fi connection on, and keep on writing, then on an average it was like 12 to 14 hours. So sometimes if I work on it like 4-5 hours a day, then for consecutively 3-4 days I could just use it without having to worry to plug it to the system. So that's a big advantage for me, especially like the typing, portability, battery, performance is really good. You just open the lid and virtually you just immediately you see the light glowing, and it's really fast in terms of the startup time and opening app, closing app. Okay, so many times I've talked about app. Many people worry about the app compatibility. It is true that most of the apps don't work in the Mac yet. I have not tried the Microsoft Office yet, but I tried Lightroom because I am a very like photo and video enthusiast. So many people said like the Lightroom had it was really good performance. So I tried, I think it was around 64 GB or 32 GB, I don't remember. It was a very huge image file, and if I use that in my Windows system, which has the Intel and 6 GB graphics NVIDIA, sometimes I see a lag while zooming in, zooming out. But here it was surprisingly very smooth and fluid transition. So I would really give it a thumbs up in terms of photo editing and video editing. So Lightroom works really well. It has been adapted here. So talking about the adaptation, behind the wall there is something called Rosetta, which is like doing the translation of the code of the app which works in Windows to make it compatible. So it makes a translation on the behind the hood to make it compatible to work in the Mac. So in the beginning, whenever you connect something which is not compatible in this, it will automatically ask and start installing Rosetta, like the Rosetta translation. So that will do all these works behind, and after that, whenever you install any incompatible apps, Rosetta will kick in automatically. You don't need to worry. When I was using the Samsung 1 TB hard disk, Rosetta automatically started when I connected it, because the app that is needed to install it is not compatible in the Mac Air, and then everything was fine. So I would recommend, instead of paying a lot of money, buy the basic version, that is the 256 GB version, although be careful that it cannot be expanded, but buy that. And instead of paying Apple, like in our currency it was around 250 euros I think for 256 GB extra. So if you want a 1 TB one, it was somewhere around, I don't remember, I'll put it here in the info. So it was very expensive compared to this, which I got in Black Friday sale for around 80 or 90 euros, a 1 TB Samsung. I will put that in the description or here in the image. And it's really blazingly fast, one of the fastest. So I thought that will be a good way, like go with the 256 GB version with the basic, with a student discount, which I bought for around 1000 some euros. So I paid like 1400 something because I chose for 16 GB RAM, because I thought if I do video and photo editing with a 256 GB SSD, it will be good to have a 16 GB RAM in terms of the speed and everything, whatever I saw on the internet, few videos. And it's working pretty well till now. And I also chose the educational package which was given in Europe. I don't know if it is given in India or rest of the world. Like you get a combo of the Final Cut Pro, GarageBand, all the music apps, so the Logic Pro X, so all the apps that you pay like 300 or 200 euros for each app to buy for a lifetime, you get that combination combo for like 225 or 250 euros, which is a pretty good deal. So that's why, because I chose instead of 8 GB the basic version, 16 GB RAM and the combo of these apps, so I paid around 400 something euros extra on top of 1000 something after discount, student discount. So but still I think it is a pretty good deal, and I really want to try out Mac before I decide buying a new Windows laptop, and maybe I will use both to tap into the advantages of Windows and also Mac, depending on the use case that I have. So some Adobe apps, if you are doing video editing, are still not that good compatibility. They have compatibility issues, it is true. So if you really want to do video editing, I would suggest you to learn Final Cut Pro, because I came from Adobe Premiere Pro, and for me it was not that difficult to learn Final Cut Pro. Although I'm not expert, I have learned few basics which are very similar, only the interface is different, the UI is different. So I think you should learn Final Cut Pro if you are really serious about doing video editing in the MacBook Air. Also regarding Zoom, which you regularly use for videos, it has some issues. So sometimes you open Zoom and I was also reading a blog that some people have that, some people don't have it. But for me, if I run extended sessions of Zoom, sometimes the app crashes. I don't know the reason. Maybe they're working, they're trying to make it compatible. So I hope it works, but it's not that smooth as I expected. So there are some, so if you want, so this is a point of advice, like if you want to use this MacBook Air as your first hand and only device for your day-to-day work and study or everything, I would say take it up with caution. So I would not suggest you to buy this for your only device. If you have some other backup device, some other device that you have been using, then only you can buy it and try it out, and maybe with the next updates and maybe with the next versions of M1 chip, because this is the first generation of this new chipset, you will get better systems which will be like, can be your daily driver. So yeah, keep that in mind. Well, one thing was surprising was this trackpad was really huge. So many people said the trackpad had issues while typing, you accidentally touch your palm, but I didn't have any such issues. I agree that it was surprisingly big when I saw it for the first time. For this 13-inch small laptop, you have such a big trackpad as compared to my 15.1 inch Windows laptop. But I think it did not cause any issues in terms of the design when you are typing really fast. So I would not rate it as a problem, as I read in many places. Yeah, one thing is the audio and the speaker quality is really good. Maybe you'll see
Norfolk, not Treasure Island.
But I mean the microphone and this, but I would not say the video quality is that good, because it's okay for the meetings that you have, but still going to 2021, or you should not have a 720p webcam in a laptop. At least they should give 1080p, and I don't know the price difference, but I don't think that it would cost that much difference. Well, video editing is also surprisingly fast in Final Cut Pro, although I have tried it very little. Yeah, whenever I go forward and backward really fast in some, I don't think I used 4K, but some drone shots which were greater than 2K, I think 2.7K, I don't remember. So it was really good in terms of what I saw on the Windows with NVIDIA GPU of 6 GB. The performance was really surprisingly good for this small system. And yeah, I forgot to tell that the thing, I mean, we are living in a cold country in Netherlands, but this aluminium is really cold, and even after this extended use, whenever you try to, I don't think I pushed the machine to the boundary, but still I had some instances, but I never found that I could feel that it is hot. So without a fan, the MacBook Air, I think this is the best MacBook Air that has been made, as also rightly said by many people. That's why people who are in the Pro ecosystem also are switching to Air, because they pay like 250 or 300 bucks less and get this kind of performance with this beast portable machine. So that is a good thing if you compare to previous generations of Mac. But I am the first generation and into the first. So final two things before I end the video, because I am from background of computer science, for programming this is a really good alternative, because most of the programs, even if you do Python and many libraries, my experience whenever I use a software or something, most of them are really very compatible with a Unix or Linux system as compared to Windows. And it's much easier to work something from the terminal. The programming guys will know. So that's why it's, I saw a vlog, maybe I'll put the link here, and I tried to install the TensorFlow and run it in Python Jupyter, and yeah, it was really nice. So people are, because many people are starting to use it. It has already been 4 months, so people have written a lot of blogs. They have shared a lot of problems, solutions, a lot of ways you can do programming. So it's I just tried that. You can see it on the screen. So I think it is working really well in terms of programming, and maybe it will be promising in the future to see in which direction it goes. So the final thing which many people had issues, because people want to connect two screens, one screen, with this work from home setup. Normally when I'm writing papers or maybe editing videos, I don't know if college students use that, but if you have at least one other screen, it's very easy to drag and drop files and to see, like, work something here, work something on that screen. So in terms of that, I bought a dock, which is a unnamed dock. I will put the name here. It's some local company, and it is not that famous like the CalDigit or the official branded sellers of Mac that you should use as a hub to connect a lot of wires, like, because you have only, I think, like 2 USB ports, so 2 USB-C ports, so it's a very low number of ports in terms of the connections you need. So that hub helps me to connect to this screen, the mouse, and the mouse that I was using in Windows for last 6-7 years, the Dell mouse. It works here. You can see my study work from home setup tour. There I explained about this mouse. You can see it flashing on the screen. So yeah, so what I wanted to say is, even if you don't go with the branded, I would not advise you to go with unbranded one, but I don't want to pay that much money, so I went with the unbranded dock. And that external dock did not have any issues of heating or anything. But one thing I made sure, because when you connect so many wires, they will draw a lot of power. So what I read also in many blogs is, make sure that that external dock also has a power source. So if it has a power source, it will be sufficient enough for to power all these devices that are connected to it, even if they draw power or they don't draw power. So I made sure that I have that, and then I had no issues when I connected it with a USB-C, USB-A, mouse, external screen, memory card. It has a lot of options. Yeah, so I hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share with everyone. Click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and see you in upcoming videos. Till then, goodbye from Netherlands. Peace.